YouTube? I'm back again today for another delicious list, and today I'm looking at the top 58 voting games of all time. So I compiled this list by going to BoardGameGeek.com, the best board game website on the planet, and looking at all of the voting games that have been listed as voting games, taking a picture of each one that I've played, and now here we rank them from the great to the bad. Mixed in, we got the forgettable good, the forgettable bad, the meh, and the good. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. Let's get apples to apples out of the way. So this is big pictures to apples, but you know what apples to apples is. They're all pretty much the same, even though I will say I like the pictures version slightly better, just because it makes it so the kids that are younger can play the game. And actually, they pretty much just took Apples to Apples Junior and were like, hey, we could do this for adults as well. And it's a good game. I mean, Apples to Apples is a good game. It's gotten quite literally probably millions of people into the hobby, and I can't go great just because I don't think the game's great, but still a dang good game. Also, Cards Against Humanity not listed on here, oddly enough, but I would probably put that in the good category as well. Potentially great, but we're not going to have that discussion. Because it's, I feel like, I don't know, it's good. It's weird. Dead of Winter. So, Dead of Winter, great category for me. Could go to the top of very good, but I still really do enjoy Dead of Winter. It's a really fun social deduction game. But one thing I don't like about Dead of Winter, and I will say this, is that I don't like the fact that there might be someone working against. So most of the time you play this, it's actually just going to be a cooperative game against zombies. But every once in a while, there might be a traitor in there. And that's the one thing that always kind of turned me off again about Dead of Winter. But I will say I understand why people like it, because it's like, oh, there could be someone bad, or there might not be someone bad. But I play with too many people who are, like, really good at math and memory, I guess, and they're like, no, I'm pretty sure everyone here, I don't know. Just, I always like a game better when I know there's a bad guy versus when I don't know there's a bad guy. But let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. Dead of Winter, in the great category, but honestly, in the bottom of great, in my personal opinion. Now, to the top of great, we have Unusual Suspects. And this game, if you have not played it, it is one of my favorite party games of all time. And I'll put it like this. If you like my sense of humor, my kind of crash nature, you will absolutely adore Unusual Suspects. It is a game that it quite literally is just profiling the game. So essentially, you're going to have like this grid of like 12 people. And if I could zoom in, you can see that it's just like a generic face. There's like an old lady and a dude and a lady. And what you're going to do is you're just going to profile this person based on whether or not they send their mother gifts on Valentine's Day, or whether or not they vote, or whether or not they paid their taxes, and various different things like that. But it can lead to some situations where you're like, oh, that guy totally doesn't pay his taxes. And they're like, why doesn't that guy pay his taxes? And you're like, moving on. And it has really hilarious moments. It is one of the funniest games I've ever played in my life. And quite honestly, it almost got me thrown out of a hotel because we were being so loud laughing at the game. Spectacular. Unusual Suspects. It was in print a couple of years ago through Simon. I don't know if they still do, but I hope they still do. Check that one out. We'll go with Twilight Imperium 3rd Edition. Wow. Big one. Out of the way. Yeah, I guess there's voting in this game. The voting in the political phase. It's not a huge aspect of the game, necessarily, but this is still an amazing game. It's in my top 3 games of all time. It used to be my favorite game of all time. Now it kind of bounces around the 2 or 3 range. But Twilight Imperium, epic space opera. Just for my money, just the best epic game that you could possibly get. Sounds like a Guess Who variant. It does kind of sound like a Guess Who variant, now that I really think about it. It is, huh? I've never thought about it like that. So, why did the chicken, ... And I will tell you the thing that most stands out about this game in my mind is the fact that it had, like, 8 full-length pencils. There you go. That is the only thing I remember about your game. I feel like you are firmly in the meh category. I think you had to, like, finish jokes in this, and it could be very funny. But most of the time it wasn't. You had to have, like, it felt like, if I recall correctly, you had to have, like, really creative people, but also really funny people. And if you weren't playing with exactly those people, the game fell flat on its face. But I don't remember... I don't remember if that's what I actually thought. So I'm going to go with Matt, because I don't remember that game very well. That is 1 week Werewolf. Alright, so there's 1 night Werewolf, there's Werewolf, there's 1 night Werewolf, and there's 1 week Werewolf. And I'll go with my least favorite, which was 1 week Werewolf, it was meh. It was just not for me. So I remember playing this a couple times, and it was just like a longer version of One Night Werewolf, I'm pretty sure. But I remember playing it like, yeah, I'm cool if I don't play this ever again. It was just one of those things where I was like, no, I would much rather play One Night Werewolf, which I don't like nearly as much as just Werewolf. And I just was like, you've refined something that I didn't want to be refined. And so now we're just to this weird, like, trust me, 1 month Werewolf is going to go to the probably the forgettable bad, if that ends up happening. All right, so now we got one. This is the Secret Neighbor or Hello Neighbor card game. And this is like a weird social deduction game. I remember saying, and I didn't actually make a video for this. Dang it, I need to. The thing that I think this game would be perfect for is if you were hosting a 13-year-old's birthday party. I think this would be like an absolutely spectacular, just show-stopping game. They would go nuts. However, in most other situations in life, I think this game is going to go good, but not amazing. And I did. I played this at a game night. We played it, I think, 2 or 3 times. And I was really... I enjoyed it more than everyone else. And I enjoyed it to the point that I would say it's good. Bottom of the good. But everyone else would be down in the meh category. So, and those were adults. So I do not think this is one that's going to go over that well with most like game nights or groups that get together and play Werewolf and stuff like that. But it was really... You had to, like, trade cards with people. There was, like, this card trading phase, and it was like, oh, should I trade my cards with you? Because I don't know if you're on my team or not. But it just boiled down to, like, I don't really care. Like, the people, and it was weird. And I want to get another gameplay of it, but the people I was playing with didn't care. So, like, I don't know. I don't know if they were playing optimally. But then again, should a game need players to be playing optimally for it to succeed? Huh? Yeah? So I think most people probably put it in the meh. But I actually did enjoy my time with Secret Neighbor, and I do want to play it some more. All right, what do we got next? Pick your poison. This one is one that I've actually recently edited quite a few of my videos for because I tagged it properly and it started to get quite a few views. And I don't. This has to go in the forgettable good. Yeah, because I remember enjoying it. I remember thinking, oh, that was fun. And I think there's a pick your poison not suitable for work, and I was like, oh, this is fun too, and I like it. Cool. I'd like to mush them together. And then I don't remember what I liked about it. It was a pretty generic voting party game, apparently, because I don't remember a dang thing about it. And I have a feeling we're going to have quite a few of those. Like this one, Keep Calm, yep. Don't remember that one, but I remember it was pretty good. This one as well. I do remember more about this one, so this should go to the top of Forgettable Good. This one, so I don't remember anything about that at all, but I do remember it was kind of fun. I gave it to my buddy Eric. This one, I know you were pitching, what is it called? It's called... something alpha, and I do apologize. Some of these pictures were a little bit wonky when I loaded them in. So the anime pitch party game, yep, Channel A from Asmodee Games, and I do remember that this one was actually about pitching anime games, and this one was kind of fun. They gave you like the cards, and you had to come up with like the story on the fly. No corporate America, yeah, what that has voting? What the hell? BGG. Yeah, I got all these off Board Game Geek. So, but yes, corporate America should be right up here. Somewhere in there. But it's not. That does drive me nuts. And I bet you I missed a lot of voting games now that I look at it. This is unfortunate. Hopefully one day they'll fix it on Board Game Geek. And then, so when I do this list in a couple of years, it'll be more comprehensive. Billionaire Banshee. Oh my gosh, this game is great. Oof. Ooh, this is close for me. I love Unusual Suspects, but I really stinking love Billionaire Banshee. Yeah, I'm going to put Billionaire underneath the Unusual Suspect. But Billionaire Banshee is a really stinking fun game that has actually gotten incredibly popular in the mass market perspective. I'm pretty sure if I recall correctly, I was talking to the designer of this, and he said it was going to be a hot topic, like in various different parts of the world. So this one has gone super well. And this is just a super silly, pixelated game where pretty much you have to decide whether or not you would date someone, if I recall correctly. And they would have like one really great attribute, which aka they were a billionaire, and then they would have one really terrible attribute, like they were a banshee. Like, so would you date a billionaire who happens to be a screaming ghost? And it's like, you have to discuss why you would. And that's the whole aspect of the game, but it's so stinking fun, and the cards are wildly delightful. And I do remember that this game did an outstanding job of marking the cards that you would need to take out to play this with like grandma or kids or whatnot, so you could take them out on the fly, which I thought was really stinking smart. And it's just a really great game. Billionaire Banshee, love it. What do we got? Crappy Birthday. I don't remember anything about this game except that you were trying to give people crappy birthday presents, and there were numbers on them, and that has to go in the meh. Like, I don't even remember if this was good or not. I remember the pencils from Why Did the Chicken. They were so long. They were full size. I was like, dang, Why Did the Chicken? You really thought people were going to use these pencils a lot. Like, you're used to little pencils. These were full. They even had erasers, man. I tell you what, Why Did the Chicken? Just for those you know what? I want to go back and revisit why they were so willing to spend full price on pencils over 1 Week Werewolf again. Because I remember actively being like, man, 1 Week Werewolf. I hope I never play it again. All right, Werewords. Speaking of Werewolf, the spin-off word game, I am such a huge fan of. And this for me is one of those games, like, if my game group was cool with it, I'd play this all night. I would play this for hours and hours and hours. And I have, on a couple lucky game nights. Not the ones I host, because they didn't really like this one as much. We've just straight up played this, like, 10 times in a row. And I adore it. And I would rather play it on a more routine basis than Unusual Suspects. I'll be honest with you, though, I love both those games about the same, but Werewords is just easier to get played most of the time, because especially nowadays, people are like, hey, I don't want to say anything offensive, and this game will kind of squeeze it out of you. Like, it won't be, like, super offensive, but it'll be a little bit. Stupid Deaths. Bad. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to go with bad. I think I remember enough about this stupid, stinking game, and I want to give it its positive, negative buzz. Because, man, this was such a pile of garbage. They had the Stupid Deaths IP, and that just opens you up to having... And honestly, I guess you really wouldn't need the IP. You have so much to work from. There are quite literally billions of fascinating deaths that we know about, that we could put into a game. And they have some cool ones, but then they just strap this absolutely god-awful game around it. It was like the people, they were like, all right, we're going to spend all the time, 98.7% of the time, just getting the deaths, which they didn't even get that many great ones. But there was. And we're going to have the next 1.3% making a crap game. Do not check out Stupid Deaths. I know you might see it at Myers. Deep discount, $8. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go buy a hoagie. You'll enjoy the hoagie way more. So next we got Dixit. Man, I can't talk. Dixit. And this one, Dixit, is one of those games that I want to like so much. Every time I play Dixit, I am just reminded about how weird my brain is compared to everybody else's freaking brains. Every time I play like an Escurio or a Mysterium or anything like that, anything, even like Wavelength, any game where I have to be on the same brain length with you, it's just no. It's my ADHD. And this is a game that just... I gotta do it. I'm gonna put it at the top of meh. No, I enjoy it. You know, I'm gonna go the bottom of good. The bottom of good, because I do enjoy Dixit. It's just frustrating because I never win, and I always know I'm never gonna win. Like, that's the thing. Do you ever go into a board game and you're like, I'm gonna lose every time? I'm gonna lose. Do you have a game like that? Let me know what your game like this is like that, and let me know if you still enjoy that game, because I think that says a lot about Dixit. That I really. You know what? And I sold the game, and that is one of those ones that I wish I would have sold. But maybe I go back to it. Maybe I still hate it. I don't know. What is this one? Googly Eyes. Googly Eyes. Man, when you don't do 100 and something games, it makes the list feel smaller. I kind of like it. Googly Eyes. So this one is one where you have to draw something, and you have these glasses, and these glasses will screw up your vision, and it didn't work as well as we hoped it would. I remember playing this 2 or 3 times in the classroom, and everyone was like, yeah, this is not as good as we had hoped it would be. And I was like, yeah, kids, I'm sorry. But, man, it's still probably better than 1 Week Werewolf. And you know what? I'm looking at this list. I would rather go play Crappy Birthday than 1 Week Werewolf. I don't remember anything about Crappy Birthday. Filibuster, though, no. That's on the bottom of meh. We played this one, I think, 2 or 3 times, and it's a political-themed game, and I remember the rules were not the best, and quite honestly, I'm leaning towards more, this is like forgettable meh, but I don't remember that much about the game, and I don't ever want to get it played again. And that should tell you a lot. like, I'd like to play all these ones, maybe even that one, but no. All right, so, yeah, Filibuster, down there, because I'd still rather play 1 Week Old Werewolf. This one, Buronauts, I remember this, was bad. I don't remember why it was bad. I remember we played it, and I was like, nope, this is getting bad review, then I'm never touching this ever again. I don't remember what was bad about it. Just burn that one out of my brain, and I don't want to remember. So even if you know, don't let me know in the comments. Let me know something else, because that way that tickles the YouTube algorithms. But don't let me know about Bureaunauts, please. It's too soon. Homeland, security game. I remember this one. I think Jimmy might have brought it over. I remember enjoying it. And I don't remember anything else about it. So, boom, forgettable good. But I would like to go revisit that one. That was fun. I do remember enjoying that one. And I remember it was pretty faithful to the TV show, I want to say, maybe. I think someone said. I think I read online. I don't know. I do know if you go to Menards, not Menards, Ollie's. I got the weird Midwestern names mixed up. If you go to Ollie's, I always see this game there for like $12. And I'm like, man, if you were ever like $7, I would buy you. Because, man, I'm cheap and I already have too many games. But I want to know why this is a forgettable good game. I want to know. Oh, yeah. You looking so pretty right there. You looking so pretty, Battlestar Galactica. How pretty are you? You are... Ooh, you're there. You're there. No, I can't do it. So I'm not going to go ahead of Werewords, because Werewords is just such an easy game to get to the table, too. Especially with the app. Battlestar Galactica, on the other hand, is a very fidgety game. It's one of those games like, you want to play it 3 players? I say, no. I'll laugh in your face and get the hell out of my house. You get that 4th and 5th player, though. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Yeah, baby, I'm excited. Battlestar Galactica is a game that I absolutely adore. I have so much fun. I love being the president. I love being the president in any game. Any game that gives me the title of president, a special power, I will quite literally throw the game to get that. Every time it seems sometimes. So every time I play Battlestar Galactica, I tell people, I'm like, no. I'm not a Cylon. I'm not a Cylon. I'm just saying, but I totally am going to be president. And I'm going to steal the president from you. It's not because I'm a Cylon. It's just because that's me. And so it just throws a whole extra wrench in the game, and I have a blast. And Battlestar Galactica is, you know what? No, I can't have you in the Great Dead of Winter. I can't just be you're great too. You're great, Dead of Winter, but just Battlestar Galactica just kicks your ass every day for me personally. I would like to try it, but $300 is for a used copy of Bureaunauts. $300? What the hell? Are you kidding me? Was that Bureaunauts you were talking about, Scott? Or is that Battlestar Galactica? I don't know. So next, this is a fun one. 50 Shades of Grey. The party game, the release your inner goddess. And you're like, where's this going? Bad. No, it's actually going into the good. I can't go great. Or can I? I'm going to put it to good for now. We'll talk about it. I'm going to see if my love for Christian Grey is going to pop this up into the great. No, I'm not memeing you right now. So this is a game that is completely for me. I'm a very open person. I like to talk about anything. I'm not, honestly... I would hate myself when I was younger. I really do. It's not that much until you look at the expansions. Those are crazy. Oh, the prices of Battlestar Galactica. I think that's what we're talking about then. Yeah, the Battlestar Galactica expansions are crazy high price. But this game is a really cool game that I think would go over really well on, like, not necessarily even game nights, just close get-together nights. So essentially, you write down a bunch of people on a list that you all know, and then you just kind of talk about who would be the most likely to have a one-night stand, or who would be most likely to cheat on their wife, or who would be the most likely to get caught doing shrooms while they're babysitting, or stuff like that. And it's actually really fun with the right crowd. And I didn't keep it, though. So it's got to be in the good. Or did I keep it? I might have. I don't know. I'm going to put it good. I can't get it to great. All right. I guess, come on, Dead of Winter versus this? No, I would much rather play... Well, I guess it depends on the crowd. Anywho, let's get to this one right here. Poetry Slam. So, this is a fun little game. I do remember liking this one. It's a game where you have to, like, try and get these letters, and you write poetry sometimes. And, did I like it that much? I guess this is forgettable good, isn't it? Yeah, this is what forgettable good looks like. I do remember enjoying it a good deal, though. And I still have my copy, and I lost the rules. This one's got a little bit of an interesting story, which I'll tell you about, where I guess it's about to go up on Kickstarter pretty soon, and it's a pay what you want, which, in industry speak is pretty much just, we need to liquidate so we don't have to, store these things. But it's a really interesting idea, and I'm very curious to see how it goes, and the reception from it. So it's coming from Mayday Games, which a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of Mayday Games. Love Battle High School. Oof. I remember not liking this game. I don't remember why I don't like this game, but I remember I would much rather play it than Bureaunauts. So this was a game where you were walking around a high school trying to be like the one to seduce this dude. So there's like a dude, and you're all like, really? Teenage girls. And you're like, hey, I'm gonna kiss you in the janitor's closet. And it's not a great game. It was. You know what? I think at the time, you know what? I gotta go with meh. I can't go bad. That's not fair. And because honestly, I'd much rather play the Filibuster. But I would go for using 1 week Werewolf. But I remember saying to myself in the review, if you're the kind of person that likes this style anime, it's going to appeal to you. And now it's coming back to me more clearly. And I'm pretty sure that if this was like the kind of thing that you were into and you were lighter into the hobby, I think you would enjoy Love Battle High School. But for me, it goes firmly in the meh. All right. What do we got next? Can of Squirms. So, this one. So this one's got a little bit of an interesting backstory. This one's from Big G Creative. And Big G Creative is a really stinking cool company. They do a lot of party games that end up getting into Target. They do Chameleon, which is going to be on this list a bit later. But one thing they always do, and I always get excited about when they send me a package, is because they send it in like a really crazy way. Like sometimes they'll send it with gifts, or plushies, or stickers, or candy, or food. This one actually came in a giant box on the outside that was labeled, if I recall correctly, the giant, like it was like the giant sex toy company or something, because it's all about a game that makes you squirm. And I remember having a good deal of fun with this game. I don't remember why I had a good deal of fun with this game. I remember giving it to my buddy Eric, so we're going to put it right here. And honestly, I would play it rather than Poetry Slam. Man, I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of these forgettable goods in these voting adult games. But I heard through the grapevine that Tom Vasel was not too happy that he got sent that. Which made me also wonder how many other reviewers, like, because I was like, I loved it. Like, I opened the door, the mailman was there, and I was like, oh my gosh. I started to laugh to my wife. I was like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. But I could definitely see how that would rub other people the wrong way. The behind the scenes stuff there, I love it. All right, I feel like I've smooched so much on Blood of the Clock Tower lately, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It is, in my personal opinion, my favorite game of all time, and the best social deduction game that I've ever played, which I do think is my favorite genre of games. And the one thing I will say that I like still more than Werewolf, that I like Werewolf over Blood on the Clock Tower, is Werewolf can still accommodate 50 to 100 players, which just for me, it creates a story. You are living a story with these characters, with these people, and your lives are coming together. Like, it's just such a unique experience to be in one of these large group games. And it's just, you start as a large group, and then it slowly gets smaller. And as you go through the game, which can last hours, you start to really know these people and talk to these people about various different things, and start to get an actual sense of their personality. And it's just such a weird, amazing experience. And that's why I might flip-flop and put Werewolf back on top one day. But for now, Blood on the Clock Tower is just such an amazingly made social deduction game. And it has such interesting and nuanced roles that it's just, when it comes out, people are just going to be blown away by this game. Shut Up and Sit Down. I don't remember his name. The dude from that. His favorite game of all time. Bowers Game Corner. Same thing. My favorite game of all time. I can't wait until it gets released. People are going to be playing this for decades to come. Decades to come. Guaranteed. All right, Deadpool vs. the World. This was, this is going right here in this category. This one was, you had a dry erase marker, and you wrote on a card, and it was like, funny answer. It was pretty much, I think, like Say Anything, but with Deadpool pictures and a dirty theme. And that's fun. I mean, it was good. Forgettable good. And honestly, I think I remember that one more than these ones, which means I got to bump it up here. Which makes sense, right? If I can't remember the mechanisms in these games, well, I can remember that one, but it didn't wow me as much. It goes there, I think. I don't know. It's my list. I'm doing it. Chameleon. So, this is a game that is kind of like Spyfall a little bit. It's kind of like a lighter version of Spyfall, where there's a word, if I recall correctly, and you are all looking at the word, and you all know the word, except for one person. And so what you're trying to do is give a clue that says, hey, I know what the word is, but I don't want to be too specific to give the word to the chameleon. And the chameleon is just trying to, say things that sound kind of similar to what you're saying. And I remember having fun with it. So I'll put it in the good. And I remember I would actually rather go play this than this, because this is another game where my brain isn't the same as other people's. But I did remember enjoying this more than Dixit. Because of this one, at least I think I had a puncher's chance. Because I'm not bad at lying. Dixit, there's no lying. This one, you have to blend in. I remember being pretty good at that. All right, what do we got? We got Obscurio. All right, this one, many people would say it's Mysterium Killer. I've seen some people say that in their game groups, it's been a Mysterium Killer. This one takes Mysterium, but it has like a somebody who's setting out these pictures, and there's somebody who could be the traitor, and it was okay. I thought it was good. I don't remember that much, and I feel like the less I play it, it's going to fall even further. And I'd rather go back and revisit those ones. I do remember enjoying Obscurio. It was one of those games where you have to be on the same wavelength with other people, kind of, and I'm just not on the same wavelength with kind of people, kind of. And this one dragged. I remember Mysterium always drags for me, and I remember this one dragged for me a little bit as well. Quentin Smith. Yes, thank you. All right, say what? I am looking at this game right now. They actually gave me a copy to give away, and I still need to do that one day. And I remember it was pretty good. I mean, look there. You can see the Dice Tower seal of pretty good. I don't know why people do that. That always drives me nuts. Like, if you get a seal of excellence, I get it. But if you get that, it's pretty much saying, hey, this game's not crap. Well, cool. I'm going to put that on my box. Boy, howdy. Like, seal of excellence, you got my interest. Seal of not excellence, you just like, okay, this one's probably going to go in the forgettable good category. Like, that's what that tells me. But that's actually what most categories go. I feel like most games that are released now are in these two categories here. Either forgettable good or meh. I hate to say that, but there's so many games coming out. So many. All right, what do we got? Say what? It was, I remember I played in my classroom, and it was fun, and yeah, I don't remember anything about it. We'll put it there. Put it there. Privacy. Hey, what's saved? Same thing? Yeah, same thing. In this category right here. This one, I think, was my 1,000th review of all time, so remember that. That's something that was memorable. And I remember it actually had really nice components. I remember you had to put your vote inside like this cool little box. And I think this one was at Target. And next edition, they will have Bauer's Seal of Forgettable Good. I'll have to get it on my Fiverr account and have someone make that. Oh my gosh. That would piss so many people off if I started awarding that. I should totally do that. Privacy. Yeah, it's in this category. I remember it was kind of fun. It was another generic party game. And I think that's what I'm really seeing here. Like, I've kind of carved out a niche of being a reviewer who will quite literally review any adult party game. And so I actually get sent, like I got one over there called Sexy Eyes, I think it is, where the whole game is like you reading a card and then just like trying to make the eyes that the card would say. And that one's going to the forgettable good category too, because they lied about the not suitable for work on there. There's like 4 cards. Anywho, I just got tied to time. Is that on your list? Dang it. Is that a voting game? No, it's not on my list because BGG, I think, misses a lot of voting games. Rankings need to be either 10 to 5 or 1. Great game I want to own. Game I would play if approached. No, thank you. All right. Cutting through the fat. I like it. I'm a hoarder, though, so I got shades of gray. But good on you for not being a hoarder, Michael. But privacy, it's in this generic category, but it had nice components, so I'm going to put it above Say What. Even though Say What had like one of those cute little boards that folds out. I love those cute little boards. Exchange! So, this was one that came out from Bicycle, who makes card games. They released 2 games at the same time. One of them, looking right over there, the Alpha, which was actually a pretty cool game about like trying to feed your wolf pack. This one was a stock market manipulation game, and it was meh. It wasn't bad. You know, I try and save that for games that I really do feel like are bad. This one was just meh. It was just like, okay, I'm cool, never playing this one again. But I would rather do it than that. All right. What do we got? One Night Ultimate Werewolf. So we talked about 1 Week Werewolf. Not a fan of it. One Night Werewolf is straddling the line right between meh and I guess it'd be good because I remember it, but it's going to the bottom of good. Because I do enjoy One Night Werewolf to a certain extent. So One Night Werewolf is a much quicker version of Werewolf. And this game, I just feel like if it's not at the right player count, it just doesn't hit. Hey, what's up, Johnson? It just doesn't hit for me. And because I know a lot of people love this series. Because there's like 12 spin-offs of this. One Night Vampire, One Night this, One Night that. But it never did it for me. I think it's good. I play it. So if somebody brings it over, I'll always play it. But it's never one that I really get excited about. All right, here we go. This one, what is the name of this one? I gotta look it up. It's a stupid name. It's a stupid name, so I will guarantee you that. So if you're trying to refresh your brain about what this name of this game is, yes, Exodus Paris Novu. So this was a social deduction game, and you're like, what? Martin Wallace? Yeah, it was a social deduction game in the Indie Board and Cards. It's in the Resistance series. You're like, how the hell have I not heard of that? And that's because it was forgettable good. I don't remember why I thought it was good. I don't remember why I didn't think it was bad. I do remember saying to myself, yeah, I think I'd rather just be playing Resistance. It had some twerks. The Exodus Blah edition. Yeah. Look at it. Like, it just looks like it looks like the cover of like a crappy B movie on like late night. I don't even know. That's just not. Martin needed the money. Brass isn't making enough. Let's go make a crappy social deduction. It's not crappy. It's just a forgettable social deduction game. All right, Bucket of Doom. I got a personal connection with this one. This is kind of interesting. Actually, it's actually really kind of fitting for the situation at hand with Bamboo Bash, which is, wow, this is kind of crazy. So Bucket of Doom is a storytelling game akin to Cards Against Humanity, where essentially you have a problem and you have these things that you use as a solution. However, this is a storytelling game. It's all about the storytelling. And I also released Help Wanted, which is my own personal game. Like, my buddy did the art. I did all the cards. Like, it's my baby. I made 500 copies of it. That did that exact same theme like 3 or 4 years before it. And then Big G created another one. And it's a good game. I mean, I like my game's way better. And no, I'm not just saying that because I want to pimp my game or say, hey, go buy my game, because you can't. There's no more print. There's no copies of it. But it's just my game goes further. My game has more cards. My game has pictures on the cards. And, you know, I personally feel my game is great, and I feel like this is a good game. But it pretty much is an identical... Like, you could interweave my cards with their cards and vice versa, and you'd just be like, oh, why don't these cards not have pictures on it? So, suck it, Bucket of Doom! All right. Speaking of Doomed, we're going to go with We're Doomed, which is a great game. Delightful game about trying to get off the planet. You're all playing as different countries. You all have different special abilities, and pretty much you can all survive if you have enough of these little tokens inside the box, and the game is timed. I think it's 20 minutes exactly, and there's cards that just absolutely throw the game into all sorts of chaos, and people can get nuked, and people can die, and so you need less tokens. It just says alternate victory conditions that pop up. It is just an absolutely delightfully fun game, and I still can't put it above Werewords. Like, Werewords just low-key for me is just, it might be in my top 10. I really love Werewords. Secret Hitler. All right. Every time I played Secret Hitler, I thought it was great. I think this is bottom of the great. You know, I was never the person that was having the most fun at the table, but I was never the person having the least fun at the table. And I feel like most of the time people were always having a good time. And I'd rather play than Dead of Winter. So yeah, we're going to go right there. But not Billionaire Banshee. Come on, get out of here. All right, Two Rooms and a Boom. Okay, man, we're up in this great category all again. Two Rooms and a Boom is a game I absolutely adore. It is a game much in the same way that Werewolf is, where it can play a very large amount of players, and essentially there's tons and tons of roles in this, but there's a bomber and there is a president, and the bomber is trying to get into the same room as the president, because there's two rooms at the end of the game, and these are actually physically separated areas where you sit there and you talk and you discuss and you try and figure out who each other are. Now, you do this in this card showing mechanism, but there's all sorts of crazy rolls that throw things up, and there's colors on cards and fake stuff on cards, and it's a great game. It has always felt a game to me that it wasn't, I just wanted it to be maybe a little bit more streamlined. Like, especially with the card showing and with the not card showing, because I loved everything the game had going, and I absolutely loved playing with the different roles. And don't get me wrong, this is still in the great category. And I would actually put it right... No, I put it there. No, I put it... You know what? And actually, I'm going to give this game some respect now. I'm going to bump it higher, because if I'm playing Two Rooms and a Boom, that means I'm in a large group social setting playing a board game together. And that's some of my favorite gaming moments. Whenever I can get into a group that's like 15 to 30 people and we're all playing the same game, I absolutely love and cherish those memories. And I've built, like, friendships have gotten so much stronger because it's just like... I don't know how to put it. With these large group social deduction games, you kind of just step out of reality. It's like, all right, for the time being, we are all here. We have a mystery to solve, or we have a mission or an objective, and I just love when I can just take a step out of reality. And Two Rooms and a Boom lets me do that. And honestly, for that, I gotta go up here. Oh, can I do that? Yeah. No, Werewolf is still amazing. Scribblish. So, this is yet another game that's very similar to a lot of other games, which is Pictionary, which is delightful. Is that not on here? Dang it, BGG. Scribblish is a game in which you're going to have a picture to draw, and then you draw it, and then someone else looks at your picture, and then they write down what you think is going to be on it, and then they draw it, and you've probably played, there's like 3 or 4 other game. Yeah, it's role-playing. It's immersive. Shut your mouth, Jimmy. I don't role-play. That's nerd stuff. I play board games. No, I'm sure I would absolutely adore role-playing. And I have a couple times. I actually have a trophy right here. Yes. Yes, I will. I must showcase it. From Nazcrag 2012. This is the first and only time I ever role-play. But I was such a good neckbeard, emo kid neckbeard, that I won a statue. Thank you so much, One God, with the super chat. Very much appreciated. But yes, I absolutely would love role-playing. And one day, I will get into role-playing. It's just not, it's just such a time sink. And the thing is, I'll be truthful with it. I know I'm going to love role-playing. I'm a ham. Obviously, I'm a ham. I am going to absolutely adore role-playing. And I think it's probably going to be something that I want to do a lot, and I don't want to take my eye off the board game ball. Like, that's the case. Bodger Mania! Alright, I remember that this is a wrestling game in a small box like this, and it is about goblins wrestling. And this game, for no particular reason, makes you do things counterclockwise. And that's the only thing I remember about this game, so I'm putting it in the meh category. Because that, like, it goes with the pencils. Like, the only thing I remember about your game is your stupid freaking rule. Like, and the theme. The theme was interesting. But I'll put it there. Actually, I would like to revisit that, because if I do, it's actually up there, and I will never get rid of it until I make content on it. But that could be in the future, because, man, I will not go counterclockwise quietly into that good night. Speaking of games and hoarding, we're going to talk about Award Show. This is one of the first games I ever got when I got into the hobby. I remember, actually, I think this might have been my first big board game purchase. The first time I went to Fun Again Games, I think it was. And I remember it was like, oh, I can get free shipping if I did something, or jump through some wheel or something. And so I started adding, like, really cheap games. And this was one of them. And I played it once, and I was like, man, this game is pretty crappy. And I don't remember why it's crappy. But it's in my collection, and one day I will get it replayed. Your big cup is full of coffee or water. It is water. I drink 1 gallon of water every day. It's my goal to try and get healthy. Been doing that for a couple months now. It's going really well. I was actually doing 1.5 gallons, and that was just too much. Just too much water. Spyfall. Ba-bam. And this is actually one of my favorite games in the genre of, hey, look how weird Forced Brain is. Which is the Chameleon Dixit sort of thing, where it's like you have to be on the same wavelength with people. But this is such a freaking fun game, where you are spies, and one of you is an imposter, and you know the location, and you're giving clues, and you don't want your clues to be too direct about the location, so you might be like, you smell that? It's such a good game. It's such a good game. And they've made it a DC thing. I do remember there was one issue that I had with this, is that it needed like some sort of really good way so that everyone could discreetly look at all the locations. Because you absolutely have to know all the locations, because if there's one person like looking at the player 8 in the middle, I remember it was in the middle, it was like a dead giveaway who they were. And that was one thing that really did bug me. And I know a bunch of people printed out like some different things to fix that. But it's still a great game. Ooh, did I just say great? I feel like I just told my girlfriend I loved her. Did I just say Spyfall was a great game? I think I did. And then I think I described it. So it's got to go up here above Dead of Winter. And actually, I'd rather play it than Secret Hitler. I love Spyfall. I just said it again. Do I love it more than Billionaire Banshee? No. Don't be crazy. The Resistance, though, I do. This was actually my first. So I played Werewolf, and I fell in love with Werewolf. And then when I heard someone say, "Oh, the Resistance is kind of like Werewolf, but with lower players," like, just shut your damn mouth. You're lying. There's no way you can give me that feel, that sensation, that passion that Resistance brings in my heart. And the Resistance does. I love the Resistance. I could play the Resistance all day. If I found a game group that was just like, let's just play the Resistance for the next 6 hours, I'd be like, okay, as long as we can have the cards from time to time. And I love the Resistance. I think it's a great game. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it above We're Doomed, but that's just my. I think most people would put We're Doomed maybe above it, but Social Deduction for me. Like, I love. This is so bad. One of my favorite things about board games in the whole wide world, because there's no other situation in life where you can look over to your friends, your children, your loved ones, your grandma, your grandpa, your father, your son. You can lie straight to their freaking face and trick them and deceive them. And nothing, like, there's no other situation in life where you can do that, and it's okay. But social deduction games give me that option. They give me something in my life that I actively don't do. Like, and sometimes you're like, man, it'd just be so much easier to lie. And I'm not judging if you do, but I try not to, you know? And this game just gives me the opportunity to lie to the people I love. If you give me a different sensation, I'm all aboard. And the Resistance, I love the Resistance. Survivor, wow, this one's forgettable bad. I don't remember why this one was forgettable bad, but I'd like to revisit it more than these two. Especially Bureaucrats. I hate Bureaucrats. I have such strong emotions for it. I remember nothing about this game at all, except for, like, there were micro cards. But God, that game was so bad. Survivor, though, I remember it plays up to, like, 10 players, I think, and I played it twice. A buddy of mine got it, I think, at a garage sale or something, and we played it, and we're like, are we playing this wrong? And then we checked the rules, and we're like, no. And then it wasn't fun. And I don't remember why it wasn't fun. It was bad. And we're like, and I remember he was like, hey, would you want to review this? Because, I mean, it might be popular. And I was like, no, I'm good. And, yeah, I did not like it. I still really like the Resistance, but We're Doomed is a better game, in my opinion. And yeah, I do think We're Doomed is just, I think that is such an underrated game. I don't think enough people have tried that game. If you ever get a chance to play it, definitely do it. It's a great convention game too, because it kind of throws you into a war room, and it's a lot of fun. It's really simple. Speaking of really fun and really simple, I'm going to go Beyond Balderdash, and I'm leaning great. Let's see how much I can tell you about it, because I don't want to put anything ever in great unless I can tell you about it. So Beyond Balderdash, yeah, I remember this. This is where there's a word, and then what you do is you have to write a definition for the word, and then you vote on which one you think is the real definition. So you're trying to make a phony, real-sounding definition, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's just a straight-up fun. This might be one of my favorite mass-market party games, period. And every time I've played it, I've enjoyed it. I will say It does have the issue where if you're not the best at making a realistic sounding definition, it can be frustrating, and I've seen that before, which kind of makes it so it's not the best as like a family game. But if you have adults, it's still, I think it's great. I do. I've had so much fun with that one. So I'm going above Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter holding down that bottom spot on the great for me, though. I love it. Dead of Winter is my great barometer. And Dead of Winter, you're not going to fall, but I love you, baby. I love you. You're staying up there. King's Dilemma. This one. Lucy! I miss my friend Lucy. She hasn't come to game night in a couple months. I think she tightened her bubble. And we were in the middle of a game of this, and I think we're like 8 or 9 games into the King's Dilemma. And King's Dilemma is such a fascinating game where essentially you're trying to manipulate. You go through a story. You're playing through a story, and I don't want to. And why I'm being so cryptic is I don't want to spoil anything because there's lots of spoilers in here. It's all about the story, and you go through the story, and the decisions you make throughout the game will impact the story. I will be brutally honest with you. The gameplay of this is meh. I was going to say okay, but I kind of feel like the gameplay for King's Dilemma is just meh, but the story absolutely gripped me, and I got to balance that out. I got to go right in the middle, so I'm going to put it at the top of good. And here's the thing. I feel like this game would have been great if we would have sat down and we would have played it over a weekend or something. And we would have got the story just bam, and it would have just hit us so hard because the storytelling in this was absolutely spectacular. But just the actual gameplay is boring, if I recall correctly. It was essentially stories would pop up, and then you would vote on the stories, but it had the same issue that I had with Fog of Love. Damn it, Lucy. It had the same issue that I had with Fog of Love, which is that I wanted to roleplay. I wanted to pick the actual decision that I would pick in this amazing world you've created, but instead, I had to pick based on what was on my card and what was good for me to gain these points that I would fill in at the end of the game. And that kind of weighed it down for me to the point where I think it's a good game. I don't think it's a great game. I would rather play Dead of Winter. Resistance Avalon. So this is a weird one for me because I enjoy Resistance Avalon more than I enjoy the Resistance. And it's already so high. Because really, the Resistance Avalon is the Resistance, but with like extra rolls, pretty much. I mean, I'm 99% sure if you just made a house rule, you could easily play Avalon, play the Resistance with Avalon. And so I got to put it right here, I guess. All right, what do we got? Who would win? All right, so this one actually, I'm not putting in the forgettable good, but I put in the good. This is a fun little card game. Very simple. You have these two people of who would win, and then I remember you would pitch your person and why they would win, and then the other person would pitch their person, and then you would vote based on the pitch, and it was really fun. I mean, it's a good game, and I would much rather play it than that. Man, I did. I really enjoyed that one. Nothing great, nothing to write home about, but who would win? Comes in a small box. Check that one out. I think it's 8 games. All right, Werewolf, get up here. Number 2. Then this is actually kind of odd. Apparently, I really like voting games because those are my top 3 games of all time right there. That's probably, this right here is probably 5 of my top 10 or 20 games out of thousands of games I've played. Which really, wow, that says a lot. And these are all social deduction. Interesting. But Werewolf, honestly, it was one of my favorite. I can't pinpoint a particular experience that I loved Werewolf more than others because I've just played it so many times, and every single time it's a different beast. The roles are being different, the people you're sitting next to, their roles, your personal relationship with those people. You know, you begin to know people, you begin to form cliques, you begin to start to be like, man, maybe this person isn't on the level. The game just gives you so many emotions, it just pumps into your chest. And I can't get over how amazing it is, the experience. It does need a moderator, as does Blood on the Clock Tower, which sucks. But I'll be brutally honest with you, being a moderator is fun too. Is it as fun as playing the game? No. Like, if we're talking about being a moderator, It's you know what? Being a moderator's, I would, I, yeah, Werewolf's amazing. I actually really love being a moderator. All right, what is your min player count for Werewolf? I'd say, I think you could do with 8 or 9. I mean, it's not the best game of Werewolf, but it's still a whole heck of a lot of fun. At that point, though, I probably would rather play some other social deductions and stuff. I would probably, you know what? I'm gonna go with 10. And especially once you can start to get numerous werewolves, that's when I absolutely love things. Especially, and I love the 2 werewolf dynamic because there's always this like sense of suspicion where it's like, oh shoot, when is he gonna throw me under the bus? It's always with the 2 werewolves. At least maybe it's with me because I'm a terrible human being. It's like, how many more rounds until I murder this person by saying that they're probably a werewolf? Like, how many rounds? But man, I love Werewolf. I wish I was playing it right now. But I'm not. I'm talking to you amazing people. But still, too bad we can't play Werewolf. Game election. So this is a really odd one that I love. It's, you know what? Game election is in my grade. So game election is this really simple card game where you set out a bunch of games and then everybody votes on what games they want. And the core idea I really enjoy. Like, you can nay things, and that gives you like -3 points, or you can yeah things. And it's just really fun to see what other people like. Like, I love, and I think that's why I like it so much. It really shows you people's honest opinion on certain board games. And it's just like, oh, he's voted nay on that game like 2 or 3 times we've done this. It's like, okay, I just love it. And yeah, I'm putting in the great. Does it go in bed dead a winner? Yeah, it does. Because here's the thing. If I'm playing game election, I know everyone's enjoying... Oh, but you know what? I can't put it that high. I'm going to put it at the bottom of the great category because it also has like these special... This is the best not game ever. It is the best not game ever, which means I can't put above the winner. But it does have this things on that like, oh, the loser has to clean up the game or some... It had some stupid stuff like that, which just felt kind of tacked on. And I felt like, I bet they felt like they had to put that on there. Like, this isn't really much of a game. It's just a way to pick board games. I didn't like all that song and dance. But I love this one. A game of other games, like your board game stacking Jenga wall behind you. Yes, that Tower of Death. But one day that wall of death will come down upon me, which is why I must review them all before they collapse on top of me. It's a race against time. All right, what do we got this one? Oh man, this is one of the games that probably helped sink Tasty Minstrel Game, unfortunately. So I do want to pull this up. Zoorika, I want to say, is the name of this game. So Tasty Minstrel Games, I think part of the issue that they had was that Zooscape, they had games that were this size, and they had not like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. They had like 10 games that were this size. 10, 15 games that all came out over like a year or 2 or 3 time span. And the reason why is because it's Sasashi Asashi who did Yokohama. So it was like the thinking was like, oh. And I remember this game was pretty good. I mean, it was okay. I'm going to put it in the meh. Because I don't remember anything about it. I do remember thinking, yeah, I'm cool not playing this ever again. And I would rather look at those pencils and Why Did the Chicken. The voting game. All right, up here with you in the generic party game category. Remember, this game is a game where you had to vote on things. I know it was relatively popular. I think I got a couple thousand views on it because it comes in a really small box, appealing price point. I don't remember anything about it at all. So, yeah, we're going to go right there. What is this? Too Many Cinderellas, I think was the name of this one. This is another small box game from Korea Boardgames. Yeah, Korea Boardgames. I think that is. Maybe it's not. It doesn't matter. It was forgettable. I mean, it was good. Forgettable good. I don't remember anything about this game except the box. The box is the most distinctive thing I remember about this game. I actually think I remember thinking, man, this box is too big. If I recall correctly, this easily could have fitted in like a small pouch and been a micro game. If I'm remembering correctly. So, forgettable good. But I do remember it was pretty solid. It's in here. It's not a party game, though. So I would much rather play it than the party game. Actually, you know what? Yeah. So this one's going towards the top of Forgettable Good because I remember it was short and sweet. All right, Cunning Linguistics. You get put right in here. I don't remember anything about... No, actually, I think this one was meh. I remember not particularly enjoying this game. And I bet if I go to my review, I'll say, yeah, it's okay. And I know it actually should be in this generic party game area right here, but I remember not particularly liking this one, which I normally do like most adult party games. So actually, I think it goes right there near the crappy birthday. You know what? 1 week Werewolf. I'll give you some respect. You can go up there. All right. Most and least. This one I got in. Yeah. I played this one in my classroom quite a few times, and I remember the kids liked it. I remember the kids liked it so much that I gave it as a special reward to a little girl, and she got to take it home. And I was like, yep, I'm cool. I don't ever really want to play it again, and you enjoyed it. So, Forgettable Good. And this was the same thing. This was more of a family-style party game where... No, actually, was this the one where you were talking about your emotions? I think this one actually might have been where you're talking about your emotions. I actually do think I remember this one now, and I enjoyed it. But it's still Forgettable Good. But I don't want to undersell this one. I actually remember thinking that I did like this one a good deal. Because it got me talking... yeah, I do remember, actually. This one actually brought up some really fascinating conversations with some of my kids. Because we talked about the most or the least, and I think there were like some experiences you talked about. And that's one of the things that I hope to one day run for political office. And that's one of the things, when you really start to hear from the kids about their home life, and it's just, they start to reveal like these little details that you never see like through the cracks, but the kids fill them in because, I mean, I'm the teacher. They talk to me all the time. We play games all the time in the after school program. And I remember this one really told me a lot of details that I didn't want to hear about home lives, but in a good way. Like, it was like, oh, cool, I know this, so now I can, like maybe we can send some more snacks home with you and stuff like that. So yeah. Top of Forgettable Good for that heartwarming moment, but not good. We can't put you there because I remember what the hell you're about. No, I can't do it. Succession in the King's Court. Now this is one, I don't know where to rank this one. I played this 2 or 3 times when I first got into the hobby. I got this one dirt cheap. I actually think I got this at Goodwill, and I was so hyped. It's like, oh my gosh, it's one of the, no dear, it's one of like the good games. Like, I didn't know they were called hobby games. I was like, it's one of the good games that I like to play. So God, it's a good game, yeah. Hobby games. But that was how early I was in the hobby. I remember playing it 2 or 3 times and really enjoying it. And I don't know if I did a review on it. I don't know if it's got to be in my collection if I did a review on it. But I don't remember anything about this game. And I would like to see if it still stands the test of time. This game I'm actually really excited to play. Because I remember really liking this game. Because you were trying to be the king or something like that. So, by my heartwarming story, I actually am excited to get Succession back to the table. If I ever find it. Alright, what do we got? 3 left. Good Critters! Man. I need a 7th category, which is You Stinkin' Disappoint Me. So I will tell you what I remember about this game, which was, this was a Dice Tower Essentials one, and it had animals, and I kept it, and I might even still have it, because it plays up to 10 players. But it still had some gamery mechanisms. It's like in that Resistance kind of thing, where it's like, yeah, we could play this on a game night, or we could play this on a party night, because it plays up such a high player count. And there's not too many games that do that really, really well. And I remember, man, I really wish this game would have done it better. And so, Forgettable Good with you. And yeah, I guess you're in this category, aren't you? Yeah, man, this category's big. But this one, 10 players, you go to the top. Yeah, you go all the way to the top. But I still only play Homeland. Alright, what's your number? This one, okay, yeah, so this is what happens. And this is what I'm telling you right now. Most of these adult party games, they end up in here. But some of them, they stand above the rest. And they are not just forgettable good, but good. And this one was good. This one is... I remember what this one was essentially... Oh, maybe you are forgettable. You had to pick the number. So it would be like... Am I recalling this correctly? Yeah, it was because there was a Not Suitable for Work one as well. I think it was from the same company who did Pick Your Poison. Maybe. I want to say that. And this one, you had to, like, pick the number. So it would be like, oh, how bad is it that you get hit by a car? And so it'd be like, 46. Or how awkward is it that your stepmom is gently rubbing your inner thigh at Thanksgiving, and you'd be like, 14! And then someone would be like, that's only a 14? Whoa! And then, you know, people laugh, and it'd be funny, and that's in a nutshell what that game was. And I do remember having a really good deal of fun with that one. And yes. No, that's where you stop. 50 Shades of Grey party game holding it down. And actually, I gotta do that. I gotta be real with myself. Which of these would I rather play? 50 Shades of Grey party game. I know I'm getting some juicy dirt on. It's a lot of fun. Last. Duh. And that is Bad Medicine. That sounds like another game. You might not want to know that information for people. Fair. So Bad Medicine is a game from Formal Fair Games. And I remember thinking it was fun. And it had like medicine and stuff. And it came in a box. And I think one of the boxes was red. And yeah, we're going to the Forgettable Good. Yeah, in this area. Sorry, Gil. You do not quite transcend to the 50 Shades of Grey party game realm. You will stay down here in the Forgettable Good. Next to Poetry Slam. And that's just because I'm not the biggest fan of anime. So we'll put it right there. I don't remember the mechanisms of this game. So yeah, you're in there. But there you go. Those are my top 58 voting games. Unfortunately, BGG does not have all the voting games. I imagine that means that maybe you as a publisher have to do that. Because my game is actually a voting game as well. And so maybe I need to go in there and categorize it. But nobody looks at these things. Right? I don't know. Do you look in the subcategories on Board Game Geek? Let me know. And also, let me know in the comments below, what is your... No, I don't want to know what your favorite game is. I want to know what your least favorite game is. Because we didn't have enough in the bad category this time. What's your least favorite voting game? Hobby voting game. Let me know in the comments below. And if you're enjoying what I'm doing, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. As I'm trying to hit 9,000 subscribers to celebrate my 9-year anniversary. And hey, Mer, thanks. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. Bloop.